Welcome, my friends, to It's Vinylly Mine. Yes, we are back with another episode, and today is a Patreon pick. Yes, my patrons over on the Patreon page have voted for this to be one of the albums to cover on our episode of It's Vinylly Mine. And we are looking at today the exclusive original television soundtrack album to Batman, 1966. Yes, now this was put out by Mercury Records. This is the reissue. And for those curious, it is record number TFM 3180. Now, you may wonder why, if you're looking at the back, why is there a CD on top of this? Well, first off, this album is going to be an unwrapping. We've got our Batman knife out, appropriate, and I am going to dive into just a minute of why I brought this CD along as well for our vinyl record review show, because I learned a few things while digging in on this soundtrack. So let's drop the needle and take a look at what's going on. So yes, as you can see here, we do have the CD. Now, the reason I have the CD is because this CD is accredited with a recording in January of 1966 by Neil Hefti. Now, it's interesting because I did some research on the Neil Hefti, and as it turns out that Neil was picked for composing the music for the TV show, but he became unavailable, so they instead hired Nelson Riddle. It was picked by William Dozier, who was the executive producer at the time for the show. And we can even see his name here on the cover, Nelson Riddle. He ended up doing 2 seasons of the show outside of a couple episodes. And then Billy May did the music for the 3rd season. This soundtrack is, again, the reissue. And yeah, let's dive right into the cover, and we'll dive into a little bit of the history of this soundtrack. So you got the big bold letters at the top, the logo, and yes, a screenshot of Batman and Robin hopping into that infamous car. I love that car. That is my second favorite Batmobile, next to my second favorite Batman. Sorry, Keaton and Burton's Batmobile will always be my favorite. Large debate, I know. Let's move on. But I love this cover. Feels very retro. It is a reproduction of the cover. I've seen pictures of the original 1966 issue as well. So they captured it very well and replicated very well, from the font that you have up here. And even here we have the copyright for the photo, which actually came from a publication. Yeah, I love this cover. It screams the TV show, and it totally summarizes the TV show right on the front cover, and it just grabs you. So on the back, we do have a summary here of some of the music. Now, this is where I was talking about. It says composed, the Bat theme was composed by Neil Hefti, but the rest of it was composed by Nelson Riddle. And so I found that interesting, because I did have this CD that said, oh, no, so which is true? It might both be true, but I'm going by this album here, so possibly the CD just assumed Hefti did the other music since he did the Batman theme. I couldn't tell you for sure on that. I tried to dig up more on that promotional CD and couldn't find much. But over here on the album, I love it. We've got some black and white pictures of the villains that are going to be featured in the music and the audio clips that are on this album. If we look over here, we do have our standard track listing, where it tells you not only the name of the music cue, but also the audio cue, because as the cover promises, this does have actual dialogue from the TV series. I can't wait to hear what that sounds like on this fresh vinyl. Then also they have the credits over here for the Batman television series, as well as who wrote and directed the episodes where the audio was pulled from. So let's crack this open and see if there is anything special about the vinyl. So I do like the spine as well. This is a nice solid spine here as well. So let's try to do this without damaging the record at all. So fresh vinyl wrapping, just exclusively for all of my fans out there, and picked exclusively by my patrons. So let's see what the vinyl inside looks like, if it's anything special, shall we? So let's pull it out. Right Well, first off, this this is solid 180 gram record. I love the label on here. This is the Reissue Mercury label that we have on here, which of course the listing and the title as we have on here. And yeah, nothing too fancy with this. Oh, fresh vinyl. Look at how fresh that is, folks. Yep, not a scratch on it. And what I'm going to do now with this is I'm going to listen to the soundtrack, and then we will pop back and I will let you know what I thought of it, as well as a little bit more about Nelson Riddle. So stay tuned, folks. We'll be right back. Yes, everyone, we are back, and I got a couple of corrections that while I was listening to this, I realized this Mercury record, even though it is TFM 3180, the Mercury record number actually for the album itself is a bit longer. It's B0021597-01 for those who are, like to hold me to all my facts. So there, I do apologize for the error. Now, coming back, I've listened to this, and this captures just everything you love about the TV show. I loved all the tracks, and what I found interesting while staring at this and looking it up is, yeah, if you look at the label here, even though we don't have it on the back of the album, we have the times of the tracks. And if you add them all up, they come to a little over 23 minutes. And I looked online and someone pointed out on Discogs, 23 minutes. How long was a Batman episode in 1966? You guessed it. So they even timed it out that way. So this record is about the length of one Batman episode. Not a whole lot of music on here, but what is on here is amusing. And I'm going to say a couple of my favorite tracks on here are definitely going to be the Riddler one that they start out with. I mean, of course, there's the Batman theme, right? But the Riddler one is hilarious.
Before you trip over your cape, Batman, riddle me this. There are 3 men in a boat with 4 cigarettes, but no matches. How do they manage to smoke?
There were 3 men in a boat with 4 cigarettes and no matches. How did they manage to smoke? They threw 1 cigarette overboard and made the boat a cigarette lighter.
Correct, boy wonder.
Yeah, I loved that bite. And then also the other one is Holy Hole in the Donut, or Robin, you've done it again. I love that one because you get a lot of Holy Robinisms out of that one. So that one was entertaining. And of course, Batman Blues, which they used quite a bit throughout the series, is also another great track. And also the Batmobile. Yeah, all the tracks on here are great. If you enjoyed the show at all, you are going to love this album, I think. It is the Mercury reissue. I wish I could find the original, but it is just worth a listen for sure, folks. Now, the composer of this, as I mentioned, who did actually most of this music, was Nelson Riddle, and Riddle. I love how that works out. But he would go on to do some great music, including The Great Gatsby, which would earn him an Academy Award. But he was no stranger to Academy Awards because he was nominated for Paint Your Wagon, Robin and the Seven Hoods, which is a wonderful film if you like some classic film with a great cast in that one. Can and Little Abner all also got him nominations. And there you have it, folks. Between Neil Hefti and Nelson Riddle, we get some wonderful music for a rather cheesy TV show that is definitely a time capsule for the era, with the surf type rock music that you have and just the wonderful different music cues. It really takes you back to that show and it'll make you want to watch it again. I thank you for your support. Please check out our Patreon and join, and you too can decide what records we review next on It's Vinylly Mine, where remember, it's not yours, it's Vinylly Mine, and I'll see you on the flip side.